What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Three Wide Podcast. Um, this is going to be a little shorter of a video than what you guys are used to seeing because, as most of you guys should know, and if you don't know, Fernando Alonso has been given a 30-second penalty after the United States Grand Prix due to his car being ineligible to race, basically, like too much damage, and that car shouldn't have been racing in the first place. This has sparked massive backlash online on Twitter and Instagram, for example, and I just think I'd give my my thoughts as well, as I am an F1 podcasting channel. So yeah, basically, again, Fernando Alonso, as you guys saw, about like halfway in the race, like lap 22 around there, had the collision with Lance Stroll, which forced a safety car, which led to Alonso's side pod being badly damaged, part of his wing being badly damaged, his front wing being where Alonso also wheelied for a good 3, 4, 5 seconds, which is pretty crazy. Also, if you guys realize during that crash that Alonso crashed right along the barrier, right? But it was right after a gap in the barrier that if he were to collide in there, his car might have been severed from the front, and that could have really injured Fernando as well. But all that being said, the car was deemed by the FIA, the car was deemed okay to race as there was no black and orange flag. So Alpine said, hey, we don't got to bring our car in, we're okay to race. And Alonso would eventually finish P7 at what was a really good result for Alpine after qualifying outside of both 10 for both cars. But yeah, again, the 30-second penalty after the race demoted Alonso from P7 to P15. And this was prompted by the Haas team protesting this decision. Basically, Haas and K-Mag in particular, Kevin Magnussen, has been on the bad side of the black and orange flag, right? After lap 1, there's been numerous times where K-Mag has been ordered by the FIA to bring his car into the pits and make necessary changes. That's what a black and orange flag is. Basically saying, hey, your car has some damage that could be a very bad hazard to other racers, marshals, and the fans in general. So come and change that and you can continue racing. This was never applied or given to Fernando Alonso and Alpine. You saw his wing mirror, you saw his Checo's. Like, for example, during the race, Checo had that end plate that was wobbling throughout the whole first couple laps because of his contact in the first sector on lap 1. He never got a black and orange flag for that because the end piece eventually came off, and he should have got a black and orange flag before that because it was wobbling for a couple laps, but again, never got the flag, so never had to pit for that change. Same thing with Alonso. Even though he had that major crash, the FIA looked at it and said, okay, the car is clearly eligible to keep going as it is, as presently constructed, because there wasn't a black and orange flag waved in the direction of Fernando Alonso. The race goes on and ends again. Alonso finishes P7, but then Haas are like, hey, we've had many problems like this before where our cars have been pulled in. Why not Fernando's? And I guess the FIA was like, oh, maybe you're right, and then led to the demotion of Fernando going back 8 places or 30 seconds. Alpine are going to challenge this at the Mexican Grand Prix, I think Thursday or even Wednesday. They said they're going to protest the decision because it's blatantly unfair. I agree with Alpine. How can you deem this after the race, and how can you make it a 30-second demotion? I mean, you've never once waved the black and orange flag during the race. So of course Alpine are going to assume that, hey, they've never done anything. The FIA said, they're the race directors, they control the race. They are deeming, by not waving the black and orange flag, that the car 14, Fernando Alonso, is deemed okay to be left in its current condition and continue racing. There's no need to pit and even retire the car. The stewards said something along the lines of, it is the team's responsibility for the safety of the car, not just the FIA. This to me is ludicrous. I mean, what are teams in Formula One wanting to do? Win and score points, right? Alpine are a team fighting McLaren for P4 on the constructor standings. Alpine want every single point they possibly could get from these last couple of races to ensure that they have that P4, because that'll grant more sponsors and additional spending to upgrading their car. I get, like, yeah, it's a team responsibility to maintain the safety of the car, but teams want to win. So if the FIA itself, the main overseers of the Grand Prix, are basically, by not waving the black and orange flag, saying that this car is okay to continue, of course, Alpine, being the position they were in, are going to want to continue racing, because Alonso didn't fall that far behind because of the safety car that came out and the ultimate strategies that led him to go to P7. Of course, Alpine are not going to pit and like, oh, Fernando, your car is really, really bad. Let's just throw a race away. If they had to, they would do that. But because there was no black and orange flag, they thought they could salvage their race, and salvage the race they did, and they finished P7. So, yeah, I just want to get your guys' opinion on this. This is why I really created the video. What do you guys think of the decision? Do you think Alonso deserved the 30-second penalty? Do you think it was initially right by the FIA to not wave the black and orange flag? Should have been waived in the first place? I think it should have been waived in the first place if they're going to if they saw that car was ineligible to keep racing. Why give the penalty after, right? It kind of contradicts the rule. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree with the decision made? Because I clearly can't fathom it, to be honest. I don't know how you could do that to a driver after a really, really bad collision, and he powered on to finish P7, and just take that away from him due to the FIA's negligence of not waving the black and orange flag. So let me know, guys, what do you guys think? Would you have given the penalty to Alonso after the race? Would you have waved the black and orange flag during the race? Or would you just scrap the penalty and move on to the next race? You guys let me know in the comment section down below. Anyway, guys, I'll have another video out tomorrow with Bryan, or the Ferrari man, where we're going to be previewing Mexico, and also having some fun topics like our hot debates, hot topics, as well as other things regarding the Formula One world. Hope you guys enjoy your night. Take care and peace, everyone.